11 News reporter Lisa McDivitt joins us now there live. And Lisa, today's burglary happened in broad daylight.
It did. It happened just down the street from here in a quiet neighborhood that doesn't see a lot of crime. Police said this morning the suspect knocked on the door, but when no one answered, he broke in through the basement window. But then his plans were interrupted.
Most thieves or burglars are looking for an easy target.
What the suspect didn't count on was that one of his victims would come home. The victim didn't want to go on camera, but her husband tells 11 News that she walked in from getting groceries and heard something upstairs. At first she thought it was their cat, but when she saw a man with a bag of her stuff leaving through the second-story window, she chased him.
They're entering your home and you have very strong feelings about that, but obviously our recommendation to anyone in that situation would be to be a good witness, get a good description of the person if you can. A license plate number or a car description is certainly helpful. And
the victim did just that. Her information led them right to the suspect just a few hours later.
He was actually very cooperative once he was contacted, and he admitted to this burglary and to one other one that I know of.
And I did speak with the victim's husband tonight. He says she's obviously very shaken up. She attributes what she did to an adrenaline rush, and they did get all of their belongings back. Yeah, the people who work in this building and the building next to it came to work this morning to find that the metal piping, it's brass, on these irrigation valves had been severed. And in the case of this business, that meant water was gushing out from here and into the street for probably 9 hours.
Yeah, I went upstairs to turn off the water and the meter's just flying around as fast as, you couldn't even count numbers.
Julie Knudsen is an administrator at Human Touch Home Health Care. Her building and the building next door were both targets of thieves who took the brass fittings off their sprinkler irrigation systems.
Just extremely inconvenient, and you feel violated.
Police say commercial properties are most at risk for these types of crimes because the buildings have larger items, which means more metal available to crooks.
When the value goes up, the demand for those items goes up as well.
A similar theft happened just last month down the road from these victims. Crooks stripped the copper piping from air conditioners at this RE/MAX office off Lake Avenue.
As long as scrap metal values are high, then we're going to more than likely see a number of scrap metal thefts.
And that means people like Julie will likely change the way they do business. She plans to increase surveillance and put locked cages over any exposed metal piping. Now, today, police told me that crooks who take metal from piping like this try to make a buck off of it by selling it to scrap metal dealers. But those businesses keep files on their clients, so if there's any suspicious repeat customer activity, police are likely to find out about it. According to this arrest affidavit, there were several people in the car the night all of this happened here at this liquor store off of Austin Bluffs. Police say it was one bullet that changed the lives of 2 people. Brian Bennett was hanging out with his cousin in late October when they stopped at this liquor store off of Austin Bluffs near Academy.
I was in the car. I knew we were going to the liquor store, but I didn't know he was going to steal a bottle from the liquor store.
Brian was surprised when his cousin came running out of the store with a bottle he says he shoplifted. But it was what happened next that was even more shocking. Brian says the store's owner, Chang Ho Yi, followed Brian's cousin out to the car with a gun and shot through the open window.
Shot my cousin through his shoulder, through here, well, came out this way. Shot me in my leg.
For the past few weeks, police investigated exactly what happened.
These shooting investigations take a lot of time sometimes. Our homicide unit got involved. These were some serious injuries.
And they say because Yi's life wasn't threatened, it makes how he handled the theft even more serious.
There was probable cause for us to charge him for attempted first-degree murder, which means that you had the intent to take the life of someone, and you had enough time to think about it.
Police say there was no evidence to support that Yi's life was endangered, and Brian says his cousin wasn't armed.
One crime shouldn't always equal another crime. So if we can, we obviously want to resolve it the right way.
Brian says the entire event was traumatic and unnecessary.
We just didn't have to go that far.
And I did catch up with the store owner Chang Yi earlier today. He says he's been instructed not to say anything while his case is pending. Shannon.
Okay, and we'll be tracking the developments in this case. Thanks, Lisa.